Hey, good morning. Welcome to Orchids 365. Today is fertilizing day, so I wanted to take you back there and show you what I use and share a few tricks and tips with you because on my last live, I had a subscriber ask. So I thought, oh, what a great idea. Let's go fertilize together. Inspector Julio's here. Good morning. Meow. What do you have to say? So you may be wondering why he's wearing a collar. He looks adorable in it, but this guy scared me. So now he wears an air tag because he spends the mornings in the garden, and one morning he decided to venture out a little too far, and I thought something had happened to him, and it was just, I don't even want to talk about it. Like, I had to put him up on Neighbors and try to see, and it was just one night that he didn't come home. But that's enough for something really bad to happen. We have a lot of wildlife here. And then he came back the next day and we had a long conversation about wandering off. And I told him, I know you don't like wearing collars, my love, but you have no choice. Because the second I see you going a little too far for comfort, you're going in. So he only gets to wander in the morning. He goes in around noon because it gets too hot. Sometimes he gets mad at me because he wants to stay out a little longer, but it's just way too hot. You are very much loved, Julio. No more wandering. All right, but anyways, back to the fertilizing, right? You think? He's so funny. I can't. No repotting today, Julio. Maybe next time. He may go join us back there. Oh my goodness, how is it possible to love this little fur ball so much? Let's go back there, Julio. Want to join us? Huh? Would you like to join us? I guess not. I set up the tripod back here where I have the shed, and in the shed I keep all the stuff that I mix, and the shed is directly under the shade of the mango tree because I try to keep the things that I buy as fresh as I can because the temperatures are getting so can you believe it's raining? The sun is out. This is such a Florida thing. I can't complain because we haven't had rain in over a week. Sorry, the tripod moved. But anyways, let me show you what I use. First things first, here is my root and bloom, which I refer to as the blue stuff. But this is the one that they sell at Palmer's, and it's a 10-35-15 formula, which is Mr. Robert Palmer's very own formula. I've been using this for maybe 3 years because I used to use the regular one and then I started buying the one at Palmer's. They also have a container just like this that brings CalMag and seaweed. I love seaweed. Kelp. So the seaweed in their mix automatically comes with CalMag. So let me tell you what these two things do. So the blue stuff is good for blooming and thriving, okay, but the seaweed is kind of like a stimulant for root growth, okay, and for keeping the foliage beautiful and strong. But the calcium magnesium forms a great barrier on the leaf, and that barrier avoids rot when we get a lot of rain or whatever. I was nervous about applying calcium magnesium on its own because one time I did and my orchids didn't do too good. So using this gives me peace of mind because I feel like it's the right amount and I don't have to stress about how much, even though I do always follow directions. Ever since that happened to me, I always put less and then gradually I move up. So now my only CalMag application is through the seaweed. So I prepared those 2 gallons. It's pretty much it tells you a teaspoon per gallon, so make sure you always dilute things. Never try to put more than what it tells you. It could really burn, really hurt your orchid. They tell you the measurement for a reason. So they're very easy to mix. I have these gallon pumps. They're not ideal. I need to get a better system because I go through one of these in one session. So like I can show you how I apply it. So there are several things to keep in mind when you are applying the fertilizer. Maybe I can show you now. Let me see if this has enough air. Sorry about the noise. Okay, so some people say that orchids should be wet, so they don't want to fertilize a very dry orchid. I don't know if that's true. I used to always wet them a little. I felt like it helped with absorption, but lately I'm pressed for time, so if I have a chance to fertilize and perhaps I didn't have a chance to water, I go ahead and fertilize, and guess what? I didn't notice a difference. That's up to you. So I'm just gonna put that out there. What I did notice, if you have anything in bud, avoid letting the fertilizer fall on it. Ideally, you want the roots to soak it in. It's okay if the leaves get some, as long as you do it early in the morning or later when the sun is not so strong, because you know it's better to fertilize early. I mean, that's from my experience. So let me see, what can you see from here that I can perhaps move it up and show you. Okay, this guy's really close to the to the screen. But anyways, so when you fertilize, let's say the Vandas, right? I always do this and I go down all the way to the roots, especially when I'm doing seaweed. See? And you just give it a good wet and you just keep going. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going. If you have a beautiful bud, like I have buds opening back there, you avoid the buds because sometimes it'll damage them and they'll come out with like markings or they'll blast. Just avoid the buds. If you accidentally hit it, maybe you can wash it off with some water. I mean, don't beat yourself up over it. It's okay. Sometimes nothing happens, but I just wanted to put that information out there. Also, I wanted to remind you that there's a big difference between showing you what I do in my garden and telling you what you need to do. What do I mean? What I mean is what works for me might work for you, but it might not. So you're gonna take the advice and you might try new things, but remember, people have their own ways of doing things. The fertilizers, some people use Epsom salt. I'm not a fan. I tried it. I wasn't impressed. I don't know. That's just me. The same way we all grow in different zones, and we have every pergola. I have 4 orchid pergolas and they all have different lighting, different growing needs, different species. It's okay. So my intention with this video is just to share what I do and what has been working for me for many years. For many years, I just used the basic blue fertilizer and it was fine. I discovered the kelp a few years in when I started collecting more seriously, and it worked wonders for my roots. That's where I got my rootsy. I'm always using the word rootsy. Rootsies make me happy. I like to see the roots healthy. I like to see the leaves healthy, because if you don't have a healthy plant, I mean, you can get a bloom, but you have to look at the condition of the plant. And this is my plant care, and in heavy fertilizing season, you can do this once a week. I alternate with the CalMag. I don't do both at the same time, okay? So if I'm doing the blue stuff, that's all I'll do. Next week, I'll do the CalMag. Maybe I'll do CalMag 3 weeks in a row, once a week when we're in high rainy season, just to prevent root rot, and it works. So I'm a busy mom. So do I skip fertilizing? Yeah, all the time. Don't beat yourself up. If you are blessed enough to be able to follow a schedule, then by all means, go for it. I'm so happy for you. I try to incorporate it, and sometimes I have a chance and it's raining and I can't do it. It's okay. Remember, this is a hobby. We try our best to do whatever works for our plants to keep them healthy, but at the same time, you have to make sure you enjoy it, because this is for you, right? So I hope all these tips have been helpful. As far as my irrigation system, all 4 pergolas have the setup. Got these on Amazon at different times, tied them up with the zip ties, attached them to where the water hose comes from, and then I have them on an app and a timer, and if we're getting too much rain, I take it off, but if it's been a very dry week, I'll have it automatically set to water Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, for example. It makes my life so much easier. I do have orchids that are outside of these. See, they're over there. I have 2 shelves under the trees and over here, which I have to water. So I still have a lot to do, but this has been a game changer for me. So that's the irrigation system, and I have that again on all 4 pergolas. That's another thing that makes will make your orchid growing hobby so much easier when we're not getting rain. Isn't this hat fun? Look at that. Kindness matters. Look, isn't that great? When I was on vacation with the family, I actually found this in the clearance section, and I don't do these hats very often, but I was like, I think this hat was made for me. So yeah, I think it's so cute. But anyways, and it helps me with the sun. So a lot of sunscreen, a lot of hats, and let's get to the garden. Anyways, if there's anything else that you'd like to know, or if you'd like me to show you how I do things or what I use, let me know. I'm not big on pesticides. I take care of my pollinators. I love my bees. I love my butterflies. So I try to keep them at bay, whether it is by using an organic fertilizer that I found at Ophi, or whether it is by buying bugs. Yes, ladybugs. They are your best friends. I haven't been able to purchase any bugs because when I go to to the nursery where I usually buy them, they're always sold out. They're really good at keeping the scale at bay, because I have a very big mango tree over, and while it helps me with the shade, when it drops leaves and I don't get to pick them up right away, then we have that problem. So I that's my biggest thing. And every now and then the thrips come in. So if I do have an emergency, like and I'm fearing like an outbreak because my collection is so big, then I have to pull out the orthene, and I don't like doing that. I have a full-blown spacesuit and a mask, and I have to put the cat away for a day, all of his toys, all of his bowls, and it's something that I want to avoid. So prevention is key. Okay, here, before I forget, this is the one that I found at Ophi that he suggested, and I don't have to wear a spacesuit. And let's say I have one that got infected, right? And nothing around it has, and I don't have an outbreak. This keeps it under control, and I could do this once a week until I'm sure that there's nothing. So I feel like this is good. But again, this is just if I have a problem. I really try to not use anything. And I do have the Phalaenopsis for when it's rainy season and you want to make sure that your plants, but if you're doing the cow mag and you know everything is looking strong, usually everything will be okay. But stay tuned for my August bloom video, because I have things in bud that are starting to open that I think will be ready by August. And oh my god, you're not gonna believe it, I even have some first timers, even seedlings that I've had for years that I've never seen the flower. So that ought to be a real special blooming episode. I also want to do another live with a repot. It works best for me in the morning around 10 a.m. So I saw that there was a way on YouTube of announcing it right before. So keep an eye out for that, because I'm gonna try my best to do a live probably next week, one of the mornings, weather permitting, of course. So yeah, those are the things I'm working on. And I just want to remind you to always be kind. Thank you for joining me. See you next time. Bye.